Golf might be a lot easier if there was no wind and no slopes, but it'd also be a pretty dull game. The natural challenges it offers are a big part of its appeal. But to fully meet them, you have to know a lot more than one basic golf shot. So let's look at what really separates the men from the boys in this game: controlling the flight of the ball. The most frequently hit shot in golf is the slice or fade. It may surprise you to know, for the greatest part of my professional career, my favorite shot was the fade. Why did I hit a fade most of my career? Well, first of all, the straight shot is not only the hardest shot to hit in the game of golf, but the only time it'll go at the target is when you hit it. Otherwise, it's going to be moving away from the target with a hook or a slice. So let's understand that to play a fade, and you aim the ball to the left of the target, you're going to be moving the ball to the target, just likewise with a hook, you move the ball to the target. Now, to hit a fade, all that I do is instead of having the club face square at address, I open the club face slightly at address, and then I aim slightly to the left of the target. This will move the ball down the left side of the fairway and back in. I can do it the same with a driver. I aim down the left side of the fairway and move it in, or hitting into a green to the left side of the green, moving into the hole. And here we are. Down to the left, slightly open club face, and make a normal swing. Should produce a nice little left to right fade. Now, how much do you open the club face? Well, that's a matter of personal preference, and the only way you can find out is for you to get on the practice tee and experiment a little bit for yourself. The average golfer tries to aim the ball down the center of the fairway. At that point, knowing he is a slicer, he tries to swing out over the ball and tries to guide the ball into the fairway, thus losing power and direction, like this. He'll hit a big old slice, or he'll pull the ball, or he'll do anything, but he won't hit it very far and he won't hit it very straight. Now, really, I don't mind a fella being slightly outside. If he's going to play a little slice, that doesn't bother me too much. But let's aim down the left side of the fairway like this, and the fella feels like he has to swing a little bit to the inside to control the golf ball. So let's just open the club face slightly, aim down the left side of the fairway, try to swing from the inside so we'll retain our power and our slightly left to right shot for direction. He's going to have more power. He's going to have better direction. Now let's remember, to retain your power, you want to use the same swing for all golf shots, including the fade. Let's just aim the ball to the left and have a slightly open club face to give you the tendency to fade the ball. How much you fade it is a matter of experiment, which only you will learn by practice. If you want a little more distance and still control the golf ball, you should learn how to play a draw. To hit a draw, I think you should first understand what produces a draw. A draw is produced not by coming in to the ball with a square club face, but by coming into the ball with a closed club face, or the club face turned in at impact. Now, I don't want to change my golf swing to play a draw. What I want to do is make exactly the same golf swing that I've made with every other golf shot, but by the turning of the club face in, I will take loft off the club and produce a little extra distance, produce a spin that will make the ball go to the left, and to compensate for that, I aim slightly to the right of the target. And depending on how much I want to draw the ball is how much I aim to the right of the target and how far I turn the club face in. Well, what should that do? Well, as you look down the line of the target, that should make the ball go left. So let's aim to the right of the target to compensate for the closed club face. Now, all I want to do from there is make a complete golf swing. And this is what should happen. that bad. How does the average golfer go about hitting a draw? Well, he's been taught to, first of all, move his left hand over here, move his right hand under here, okay? Now, he's going to close his stance. He's going to bring his right foot back. Well, now he's got to take the club to the inside, which he pulls it back in here, and then he's got to make sure as he goes through the ball, he's got to roll his wrists over to close the club face, and it looks something like this. Oh boy, wasn't that a nice, pretty little draw? Let me see you do it again. Well, obviously he can't, because he has too many inconsistencies, and he hasn't used his basic golf swing in the one that he's used to. To play a draw properly, when you're on the practice range, let's say you decide to close your club face a little bit, and you aim a little bit to the right of the target, and it produces a 5-yard draw. Fine. We'll close a little bit more and see if it produces a 10-yard draw. Now, you'll notice that when you close the club face and aim to the right of the target, you'll also get a little bit more distance out of the shot. So if you're playing a 5-iron distance, many times you can play that with a 6-iron because it produces more distance. Or if you have a 4-iron shot, you can take the 5-iron and get the extra distance that you need. And it should look something like this. Aim slightly to the right of the target, close the club face slightly, and make a normal swing. I hope a draw helps your golf game. Hitting the ball high. It's really not that difficult to do if you understand the principles, and it can really be a lot of fun. I think probably the most enjoyable and satisfying shot I can play in golf is when I'm behind a tree or an obstacle in trouble, and I'm able to get the ball up quickly and fly it to the green, particularly with a long iron. I have here a 1-iron in my hand, and let me show you how I go about hitting the ball up in the air. First of all, I'm going to use the same golf swing that I use with every other golf club. Let's just take that as a given. Secondly, I'm going to open the club face to put loft on the club. Well, you say, well, that's going to make the ball slice. It is if I place it off my left heel.